Welcome back to the Tales of New Dunhaven, the leverage job, part one of several. In this, the first part of our season/series finale, all of the previous crews have been tossed into the same boat and are working together to take down the Grey Bishop. For this session, we have Mykin.
Hello.
Xencarn.
Yo.
Smarty.
Hello.
And AvisEcho.
Hello.
Okay. Previously, in New Dunhaven, oh goodness, the Church of the Silver Judge is on the warpath against magic users after a series of transgressions, including the killing of a church assassin and a very public magic duel. The Grey Bishop, the liaison between the Church and the Black Council, the governing body of the Cartel Alliance in New Dunhaven, is cracking down on magical so-called heretics. Across the underworld, he has accused the leverage broker of being a front for heresy and a nexus for mages to ply their corrupt trade. The leverage office itself has been blown up, and every associated thief is now in hiding. The Crimson Lions, Cackling Crows, and Obsidian Coin crews, including the ones that have been arrested, have banded together, communicating in secret. They know their only options are flee New Dunhaven forever and live in self-imposed exile, or take down the Great Bishop somehow. So for the last few days in character and last few weeks out of character, they've been putting together a general plan for finding and replacing the Grey Bishop. With the Church cracking down across the city in both the underworld and the overworld, there's little time left to put that plan into action. So I'm taken to understand that some of you are playing the same characters in your original crew, some of you have changed a bit. So how about we just go down the list. Avis, who are you playing?
I am playing Aster, who is my old Warden of the Nightwear.
Right. The
Crazy cat lady.
Yeah.
Creepy cat lady.
I forgot about her.
I mean,
You thought that Xencarn was the one you had to worry about.
Oh,
that
dear
is the
Joke's
God.
on you, it's
accurate
me.
sentence.
I'm sorry. I just realized that you know what? Never mind. I'll just shut up.
All right. Mykin, I assume you're playing your Gideon?
Yep, Gideon Bashir. The madman behind all of this and possibly going to regret teaming up with all you guys.
How are you the madman behind all this?
It was my idea to talk to Paul.
Oh, right, yes. Well, we're not quite there yet. Smarty?
Yes, I will be playing Antonio Fentonio, the family cleaner from that one shot that Xencarn did, because he's my only other character.
Right.
I will not actually be playing Trixie this time.
Trixana's laying low?
She is laying low for now.
All right.
Considering what we went through, she better be.
Oh yeah, no.
And
Better. I
Xencarn,
told her to.
Xencarn, I imagine you're not playing your character who got arrested.
I mean, if that's an option. But no, I am playing Darren and Clara Hugh, the independent fixers and twins.
All right, then. So that's who we are today. Let's talk about what we're calling the leverage job. Out of character, I've given you all functionally infinite time to plan because this is sort of a life or death scenario for each and every one of you. You have 6 days, and that's 12 day and night time segments, to depose the Grey Bishop somehow. At the end of that 6 days, it's assumed that you're either driven out of town or captured, because the church is just constantly cracking down harder and harder. As a consequence of that, I'm not going to be tracking heat, because I basically have functionally unlimited heat all the time, because you're all...
Do we just start at max?
Yeah, and I
Okay,
promise I won't be spending it constantly, is all I'll say.
Constantly uses.
Generally,
Twist.
you can expect me to insert complications if you fail a roll, if you roll a lot of drawbacks on challenge dice, stuff like that.
Sorcery.
Yeah, no. Just
At the start of a scene, if applicable. Those are the general times that I am advised to introduce complications. So, but yeah, I'm just not going to track it because I'm just going to spend as much as I want.
To make things
Enjoy
interesting,
it.
right?
But in exchange for that, to keep things a little bit fair, you've got the regular influence you start out with. You've got 3 crew influence, one for each crew that's involved with this, that can be spent over the course of all of these sessions up until the end. And you also, each and every single one of you has an extra last-ditch influence, which is basically a super influence that cuts your health in half for the rest of the session, for the rest of the job. But basically, this is like cashing in every single favor, every ounce of goodwill you've ever had with your cartel, and getting them to move mountains for you. And you can only spend it after you've already spent your starting original influence. So keep that in mind. You have lots of influence to work with, and you probably should use it so that you can, because you're trying to depose a member of the Black Council. So you've got a massive challenge in front of you.
That we do.
Now we can get this knocked over in about half an hour.
And
So,
then we'll go out for drinks.
The Black Council is a body of 8 people who basically run the cartel alliance. So it's not really in their interest to just let people, decide who gets to go there. All of the members are supposed to have their identities secret. All you've got really is a physical description.
Which isn't a lot to go on, but we'll manage.
Yeah.
And as far as how the rest of the city is reacting, the cartels are wary because the church is kind of supposed to be like the Switzerland of the Alliance. Like, churches and cathedrals are kind of supposed to be like, you're not supposed to get arrested on, sacred ground. It's not that, like, you don't find city watchmen undercover or dredgers, like, rubbing elbows in the pews, hoping to catch some criminals there. But, like, in general, like, on holy days, it's not uncommon to see, a family don and a well-established magistrate sitting together, having a necessary conversation, just to keep the city running. Like, the fact that the church is cracking down on a controversial but still kind of necessary aspect of the cartels is kind of making them all wary, but at the same time, no one's really sure how to react other than to lay low and not, kind of stay out of their way, hoping it'll all blow over. So you're kind of not on your own, but no one's like circling the wagons around you or anything.
Yeah, they're basically the equivalent of that friend who goes over and says, you can do this by shoving you out the door, closing the door, and then opening up the window and continuing to shout out, hey, you can still do this, just don't die.
So
Not wrong.
No, it totally feels like that. And then they barred the windows because better safe than sorry.
So how Chase dealt with the Dragon Maulers the entire time then?
Kinda, yeah.
You can do this. Stay as
Just-
far away as possible.
You can do this, just all the way over there.
Where I can't see.
As far away from
And I'm
me
just
as
going to
possible.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay, good. As if I wasn't nervous enough. I'm now properly in character.
I mean, this is supposed to be like a season finale. This is supposed to be like
Of course.
big and dangerous, and all the stakes have been raised up to maximum.
Like, you should be nervous. Nervous is normal, unless you're crazy.
In which case, don't be nervous. You'll be fine. You're with us. You've got nothing to worry about.
Oh,
It'll be
no,
fine.
I'm with you guys. I have everything to be worried about.
We did nothing wrong.
But
We
Anyway.
have done nothing
Anyway.
wrong.
There's a list and I've already stated it. I'm not doing it again. Anyway.
So
Yes.
you've decided as the first part of your plan, and one other thing. Basically, we're not going to try and track like simultaneous actions across like the 6 days of time you have. Basically, while one team is acting, everyone else is hiding and laying low and shaking off tails. So the time you use is time that no other subgroup gets to use. So
if we take 5 days convincing this guy,
Everyone will kill us.
everybody else is doomed, is what you're saying.
yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
Other
Even
than
the group in jail.
that, the time structure is kind of up to you guys.
Right.
Awesome.
So 2 days. Got it.
Yes, but
All right.
I'd like to do
So for
one
this
day.
first part, your plan for this first group, as I understand it, is to find a replacement for the Grey Bishop once you depose the current one.
Yep.
And for
I'm
that,
the backup,
you've decided on the one sort of friendly church official that the Cackling Crows know, who is Paul Donnelly, who was my character in the Castle Antidote job, Session 9.
So we're gonna replace Spud with Spud.
Yes.
Yep.
An evil Spud with a, more wholesome Spud.
Yes. I like this plan. This is a good
I mean,
plan.
that'd be kind of the case no matter what NPC you chose. If you're,
Yeah,
Yes,
but this is better.
But we
Just-
could
it-
replace
it's a
Evil
known
Spud with
character.
Evil Spud.
No. I'd rather replace Evil Spud with
Evil Spud,
my
great.
everybody
Slightly
else
less.
in the audience actually knows who. Anyway.
Slightly less evil Spud.
So the first problem you're going to have with this is that you guys are kind of radioactive as far as the church goes, and Paul Donnelly does not want to talk to you.
What? But everyone
No,
loves me. I'm great.
Hey.
I'm a
No
cat.
comment. No comment. No comment.
I'm a cat.
So I'm going. Well, I'm basically I want you guys to describe the scene in which you managed to sort of ambush and approach him, and I'm just gonna let you do that for free.
All right,
Okay.
that's good.
So we find him at a bar.
No.
God damn it.
I mean, that's how you find most people. Let's be 100% honest.
This
Yeah,
is
I know.
an administrator of the church,
Yes.
a mid-level administrator of the church.
Well, it's not like
He
we can
needs to
walk
drink
into.
too.
Fine,
So,
we walk
I-
into his office.
I have a kind of an idea.
Go.
So actually, no. Would this be out of character? No, whatever. I'll say I figured something out. I'm going to assume that he likes whiskey, brandy, or something like that. So maybe if I just package just a small, good amount of alcohol or something like that, and a little letter saying that this is a goodwill thing. We just want a little bit of your time at some
Ken, you're
place.
breaking up.
Am I? Gosh dang it.
I got
Yeah,
most
I
of
got all
that.
that.
No, I'm basically creating a goodwill package saying, hey, this is just given to you in good faith. Let's meet, have a conversation. We have an idea we'd like to run by you. We promise nothing bad will happen, Xencarn. And, everything will be all right.
So you're sending him a gift basket
Yes, I'm basically bribing him to meet us.
at
Okay.
a bar.
I haven't decided the location yet. I get the feeling that a bar would be a horrible, horrible place, though, if only because of past experience.
It would also be very casual, and
True. And I can't really think of any
it's
better
better
place
than
to
meeting
have
in
it.
an alleyway where it's easier to shank someone. A bar is also public.
Like maybe
And
a back room of a bar.
A back room of a bar would be better. I'd like some privacy because I'd like it if us talking to him about having him replace the current Grey Bishop not get around.
But at least having him go and be seen somewhere in public. So if people notice, hey, what happened to that guy?
Yeah, exactly. So maybe having him have to go through a bar where people see him and then having
It's
him go into
more
the back.
reassuring to be more in public. So yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. All right, so
Is everyone okay with that plan?
Yeah?
That's
Yeah.
That's me.
All right. So the gift of
Fine alcohol.
fine booze is pretty prescient because he's not going to want to report that he got this this package, because why is someone sending you booze? It's a gift, Father. He doesn't want to answer that question, so he's not going to report that as easily. And give me a name of the bar you're at.
The Reds.
The
Shit.
red
What?
sweater. The red
Done.
scarf.
Done.
Red scarf.
The Swan.
The
Red Swan.
The Red
The
Swan.
Red Swan.
Okay,
The Red
The
Swan.
red swan. Yeah, okay.
that last word took a while to get clear there.
Yeah.
It's like the red something.
It didn't help
it's
that all of
changed
us
hands.
have changed. Yeah.
half a dozen times, and you know how
Like,
these
there's this big
businesses-
stylistic S on the sign that stayed there, but like the rest of it is like a different plank. Like,
Yeah,
It's
like
written in
every
like
year.
Comic Sans.
It's just every year someone loses it in like a bet, and so it just changes hands.
Every time it gets a new owner, the second word changes.
Yeah.
All right. So you sort of wait in this dingy back room, just filled with smoke and booze and cards, and rather reluctantly, the door opens, hesitantly, and then very swiftly, this man at the cloth enters and shuts the door behind him and sort of glares around at all of you.
Welcome. Please take a seat, Mr.
Aster waves.
Yes.
Antonio smiles.
I
What?
lounge in a corner.
I completely forgot his last
Both
name.
of your characters lounge in a corner?
Yep,
In the same corner.
in the
separate
same
corners.
corner.
Just two chairs propped up against the wall,
Yep.
Yeah.
leaning back.
And Gideon's just sitting in the table in the center, and he's trying to be all cordial and stuff. Probably has some more booze over in the corner with 2 glasses there. An empty seat for Paul to take in or to sit in.
Kind of looks around the room, seeing if there's anyone else he should be worried about, and then groans and takes a seat and says, "What possible use could you have for me at this point?"
Well, Paul,
Hear us out.
Man.
Not that
Carnival.
I'm not unsympathetic to this whole situation. I mean, after all, you did stop a mass ritual murder, or rather, some of your group has.
yes,
But
and
a legate can only help you so much.
I like it.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's kind of what church masterminds are known as.
No, that wasn't a question.
Damn it.
that completely threw off my line of thinking.
Good.
Wow.
This is already going off to a wonderful start. Now, I was
It
just,
is, though.
It is. It perfect. Now, so Mr. Leggett, I just wanted to go ahead and
It's
run
Donnelly.
by
It's
an
Paul Donnelly.
Paul Donnelly. Excuse me. Let me write that down so I don't freaking forget it a 5th time. So, Paul, I'm going to cut it straight. This whole entire thing with the church, with it going after everyone, I think they've got it all wrong. And I know that you're I know that you're sympathetic and stuff. So I was just wondering, just how do I word this?
He waits patiently for you to get to your point.
I was wondering if you would like to be the new Grey Bishop.
Uh-huh. And how... I assume you have a plan to make that happen.
Of course.
Yes, actually.
Well, you would hardly be here if we didn't, would you?
Because, look, the way that the Grey Bishop is currently doing things, he is going to end up destroying everything that we've set up here. This nice, wonderful system that we've got here. And a lot of good, honest, right kind of people, for whatever the definition of the word honest can apply to some of them, are getting thrown away or being run out of here. And that creates a nice little power vacuum where the wrong kind of people fill in, if you catch my drift. And the current one just isn't working out anymore. And, we like you. You're an awesome person. We like you to fill in. And we have a plan in motion that could just see the Grey Bishop, vacate his spot, the current one.
Not in any harmful way.
Obviously not. We're not murderers here.
We're not all murderers here, let's be honest.
Yes, let's be honest. But at least I haven't killed anyone. And no one in my group has killed anyone.
I haven't killed anyone, unless you count a rat.
Right.
He kind of lets out a groan and leans back in his chair, just running his hands across his forehead and rubbing as if there's an oncoming headache. Do you even know how the Black Council replaces its members? Not many people do. I don't blame you for not knowing. But basically, the Black Council doesn't replace its members immediately. You're all familiar with once a year there is the thief moot,
Of course.
Yes.
where the cartels send their representatives, the Black Council, they all argue over turf and settle debts and all that. If the Grey Bishop were to be removed in any way, whether that's death, imprisonment, or retiring, that spot would not be filled until the next thief moot, at which point I believe that they send out a discreet announcement that the position is waiting to be filled. Then I imagine, since for the bishop, I imagine it would just be the church would send a few candidates, hooded and cloaked naturally, and then they wouldn't even announce who got picked. They would just, operations would resume.
Of course.
That's why we need to get you in there.
This is a bad situation. I'm not going to argue that. I'm just not sure I'm that necessary unless you want to absolutely ensure that someone with the current Grey Bishop's delusions does not do this again.
Yeah, that's pretty much the point. We
Yeah,
don't want
okay.
someone as finicky, let's say, as this particular guy in charge. And we've heard good things about you, so...
Yeah, it's why we want you to do it.
We
Yeah.
would rather something like this not happen again, because then we'll have to go through this process again, and everybody will be inconvenienced, and a lot of innocent people will lose their lives, jobs, and whatnot. And it's a whole hassle that we really don't want to have to go through every year.
Or month. Or day. Or hour. Or minute. Seconds even.
Okay, he gets the point. Please.
I like her.
You
She's
should.
fun.
Yeah. But if you don't want it, then you can leave. No questions asked. We won't bug you
We'll be
again about
against
it
you.
whatsoever.
I'll be honest. No. You misunderstand me.
All right.
I'll be honest. For a while, I felt like my current position hasn't really matched up with how I see the world through the lens of the faith, if you catch my drift.
I
And
catch it.
perhaps a position where I can represent both the interests of the church and the right kind of people, a necessary part of our living here in New Dunhaven. Maybe that would put me in a position to do more good. I can see that. That appeals to me, at least a little bit. I am just not sure. I cannot even guarantee that I would be someone that the leadership of the church would select to send as a candidate at Thief Moot, and I can even less guarantee that I would be selected by the Black Council.
So then
That,
your
my
opinion...
friends, is why we're here. To make
That is
sure.
our job.
Yes, we can take care of that stuff.
You can take care of the members of the Black Council. How much?
We just need you to be the best candidate available. And if everyone else looks bad in comparison to you, which I'm sure won't be too difficult, well,
He's
they'll
rubbing
have to
his
pick you,
eyes
won't they?
now.
We will
I'm not
make this
saying
work.
we off
Don't worry
everyone.
about that. We just want to make sure that you're willing to step up to the plate, so to speak, when the time comes.
We will handle the difficult parts. We just need you to step up when the moment is right.
But if you want to help, we won't turn you away from it.
He grows thoughtful. Do you want to better guarantee that I get the position?
Yes, we want to turn those lesses into mores and most.
What she said.
The best possible outcome we can get for you.
You can see Gideon is kind of leaning in forward with interest.
It's like we want them to look at a bunch of cats and you be the prettiest cat there. And they say, I want that cat. That's what we want for you. So if we can help you look all prim and proper for them and you also do the same, then everyone wins, right?
Your Weir's been inhabiting a lot of cats lately, hasn't she?
She does that.
Yes.
Casually
Yes.
just pets the male calico on her lap.
Just don't mind her too much.
Don't question it.
She has good ideas. She just has
Words
a
in
very
my mouth, I have them.
She has a very interesting way of conveying them.
All right.
She has a good head on her shoulders when it is actually her shoulders.
Anyway, you sounded like you were suggesting something.
Yeah. In order to be absolutely certain, I would need to... I already have some credit for dealing with the attempted poisoning of the castle. I was a part of that group. But in order to make absolutely certain, I would need to take on a myth or a legend. Or perhaps have a group of thieves take on that myth or legend and take credit for their deeds.
Gideon kind of just leans back and smiles a little bit. It's like, yeah, I see where you're coming from.
What do you all know of the Scorpion of Long Harbor Island?
Do we know any?
Yeah, can we?
Out of complete character,
What?
so I don't have to get that high pitched anymore.
What are the things you know on your cartel and specialty sheets?
Let's see.
The crown, the reserves, outside the city, nature, and survival.
Merchants, the canals, the blooded. I don't know what it says on the everything the cleaner knows.
It's mostly the cartel sheet.
Right, then
Yeah.
merchants,
just-
the canals, and the blooded.
Yeah, you and me both know those stuff.
Oh, and sorcery, but that doesn't count. It never counts.
So if it's someone that's been harassing the merchants, I probably would have heard some rumors about him.
Mm.
If
And
only
if it's
because-
outside the city, I would know it.
I don't know how many rumors I hear in my day business of running a cleaners, but
I run a warehouse business. I deal with shipping. I would know.
I run a laundromat.
So, I'm going to say that you've all heard, like, very vague rumors, and not even, like, the same rumor. They've all kind of conflicted. And so, in the northeastern part of the city, which, the ocean kind of cuts into the city a bit, there is an island called Long Harbor Island, which is completely turfless. No cartel has a solid grip on any district on that island, and it's kind of very poor and rotten and run down.
Okay.
So, but and also in general, the cartels just kind of have an unspoken agreement, just not to like actually seize control of that, because there's not a lot there, and the crown has also pulled away from that area, so it kind of serves as like one of the few places that's actually sort of safe for a thief in New Dunhaven, except for one thing, and that is a serial murderer known only as the Scorpion.
Great.
Sounds like fun.
And you've all heard several different rumors. The cartel leaders of the cartels have all dismissed these rumors as fear-mongering, but that still hasn't really stopped strange murders from happening there. And they've all been by poison, which is, why people know it's murders and not just, random, stabbings and whatnot, random muggings. The identity of the Scorpion kind of varies from tale to tale, but most people agree on a few details. 1, the Scorpion is probably a woman. 2, she lives somewhere on the island. And 3, she seems to prey mostly on criminals who have a significant amount of power within the criminal underworld. So, lieutenants and, dons and whatnot.
Members of the Black Council.
Some people say it's like she's a member of the Spiders planted on the island to weaken their cartels, or she's a blooded agent who takes cruel pleasure in her victims' slow, painful deaths. But no one has found her, the Crown isn't looking for her particularly hard, and the cartels deny that she even exists.
Joy.
Which, of course, means he absolutely has to.
Absolutely.
So I think I have a plan formulating on how to capture her. I think.
Fire?
Well, we need to draw her out first.
So if we capture a scary scorpion lady, that will make everyone look good, and you?
Well, that's a good question. Does she have to be alive?
No, she does
Would
not.
that-
No.
Okay.
Oh, that makes things a heck of a lot easier.
But would it be better for you if she's live?
Would it be
Either-
preferable for her to be alive?
Either leave her in a place where my people can find her, or then just, tip me off, or bring her to
Drop her
a,
on
a,
your
ron-
doorstep?
a rendezvous point on the island, and my people will take care of her. Whichever
Okay.
suits you best.
Yeah,
Bring her dead or alive to the docks.
Do we have to
Yes.
pick that now? I feel like stuff happens.
No, I think the rendezvous point would be probably best. But that's just me.
Well, okay, when I say rendezvous point, I mean you leave her and then get out of there before members of the church come there and find you.
Right. Of
We
course.
leave her in the
Well,
spot.
duh,
we
no one
tip
wants
you
to be
off,
found by them right now.
especially not magic users.
Right.
Yes, like you.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Right. So, all right. We
So
just
Paul puts his hand on the table and says, "That's my price for agreeing to this plan."
all right.
We
so-
find and hunt down a scorpion for you. Sounds like fun.
So we
Ah.
find Scorpion Lady. We give her to you. You look really good in front of other people, and you get picked as Grey Bishop. Yeah?
Because I'll have
That's
taken
the
care of a
ideal plan.
problem that has bothered the cartel leadership, which will make me look good to the Black Council, and I'll have brought in a murderer, which will look good to the church.
But if you
There's a lot
wanna
of nods coming from Aster right now.
If you want to take her out, and she's hunting down high-power cartel members, then that seems like a win-win either way.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
Well,
no one else
Totally
is
not.
anyone else who's looked for her has ended up dead.
Don't
Then
worry.
we won't.
We'll be careful.
Hmm.
Have been so far. All
Yeah,
right.
No promises, but we'll do our best to not die.
All right. Well, Mr. Donnelly, if nobody else from my group objects to this, I do believe you have yourself a deal.
He holds out his hand for a shake.
Very well. He shakes the hands of whoever offers. As I wish you the best of luck, because the
You
situation.
too.
How do you plan on dealing with the current Grey Bishop, if I might ask, just so I can figure out how to prepare?
Well,
I don't think that's our job.
we have a plan for it, but it's not this particular group's.
Our job
part of
is
the
you.
plan.
Other
Yeah,
people's job, other thing.
Our job is to
Yes.
get you to say. Our job
Everyone.
is to get you to say yes.
But let's just say there are details in motion, and when we have more information on that, we will let you know.
Let's know better. Right?
You can see Gideon is just kind of tensing up at all this, but he just takes a deep breath and tries to go with it all in stride.
Yeah.
Paul
Plans are in
looks
motion.
briefly sort of dismayed at the lack of certainty you're all displaying, but
Subterfuge and potentially murder, if that helps.
If it comes to it.
Aster is not nervous at all.
That's just away with the fairies.
Yes.
She is basically away with the cat fairies.
Yeah.
it would be
And-
But
slightly
seriously-
easier if he wasn't dead. But
Mhm.
if that's what
It
it
would
comes
be.
to, if that's what it takes, if it comes down to you or him, then
Worst case scenario, he'll probably die.
If we can manage, they won't die.
Mm.
Promise.
Best case scenario, he'll just retire or leave the city.
For the most part, I believe a scandal will be in order if that helps you out,
Or probably maybe get him done in for heresy or something.
of course. I
Xencarn, you need to stop.
yeah. That,
I've been sitting here quietly being a good boy this entire session.
and then you throw that picture.
My DMs say otherwise.
Anyway. Is there anything else you need from us?
Discord shenanigans, the best thing to listen to on a podcast.
Exactly. So anyway, if there is nothing else of note to bring up in this meeting, then we will get to work.
All right.
He's gonna get up and hold the door open for Paul.
He leaves rather briskly.
Bye-bye.
Gideon just waves, closes the door, lets out a long sigh, and then immediately pours himself a drink.
He was very nice. I like him.
Yes, he was.
He's going to be the best pretty kitty.
All right, let's focus on the task at hand. So the Scorpion is only attacking high-end people, and unfortunately, yes, I do.
That would be good.
Yes.
Good of you to volunteer.
Gideon is, in
Also-
fact, a boss of the family. He would probably be the most likely to qualify.
Yes, and he also has that legacy trait with his uncle being popular. So, quite honestly, making him out to be a lot more important than he actually is, well, kind of a character trait for him at this point. Actually, Gideon just forgets the glass and starts drinking from the bottle. This is going to be a long night.
All right. Regardless of how you set up sort of your trap on Long Harbor Island, you've got one major obstacle to overcome getting there, and that's transportation to the island. There are two main bridges leading to the island from the mainland of New Dunhaven. One from the west of the island, one to the northeast of the island. There are also ships that go between the docks. Problem is that a lot of those ways are going to be monitored by the Crown, who are looking for you. So your obstacle is securing safe passage to and from Long Harbor Island.
I'm going to be a cat.
Well, for the rest of us,
I mean, how hard would it be for me to pull some of my family contacts to just get ourselves kind of like a private boat that I can man with my usual suspects to get us to and from the island under the cover of night or something like that?
I was going to say a private boat still has to check in.
that's what forged documents is for.
That is what forged documents is for. Does anyone have an actual decent forged document? Because I have it as 65.
I also have it.
I have
an
it
80.
as a 65.
80%.
You have an 80%?
Yep.
So we just get ourselves a boat. We forge some documents to make it look like we're just some up and coming transportation thing or whatever. Fishing boats. Maybe we can just say we're fisher boats and we're just whatever. However we make the lie work. If you can get the documents, I can probably arrange for a boat. And is everyone in agreement with that?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yep.
All right, then, Mykin, I'm going to need you to probably spend some influence and take an influence point from you.
All right.
So that you use your family contacts to not secure an entire ship to yourself, but secure passage on a ship that is already doing business for the family.
Good enough.
And who is loyal to you.
Yep.
Bud,
Yes.
quick question. With my middleman trait, which allows during a planning scene people to trade influence, how does that work with this?
With this, right now, if you want to trade some influence around, you can do so.
Sweet.
So just to let you guys know, I do have 2 influence. I'm now down to 1. So just on this character.
Cool.
It's the only time where I felt like having legacy was not a complete and utter waste for this character. Well, yeah.
That's cool. I'm also family and have to influence.
Yes, being part of the family has its perks.
All right, and I'm guessing I'm going to ask for a forged documents roll.
Sounds good.
Just a question, though. Can I use my coordinate ability to give him 2 advantage dice for that?
I believe you may.
Congratulations, then, Xencarn.
Woo!
You have 2 advantage dice.
Since you would know that the documents involved with this particular business ship anyway, this merchant vessel anyway.
Yeah.
Actually,
Right,
if it's a
people-
merchant, no, I'm asking too much there. I was going to say if it's a merchant ship, can I also add the families too in there? But no, I don't think I would get away with that.
Just get the right kind of paperwork.
Any disadvantage, or is it just straight?
Yes, there's gonna be 1 challenge die because you're trying to cover up, passage of wanted criminals.
So it's 1d10 E5, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this code works, and I'll just copy paste it so I know.
50, which is under, and clears it. 2 boons, 1 drawback, cancels out to 1 boon.
Woo!
Success with the boon.
Hey.
All right. 1 boon's worth of good stuff. The document success will legitimize your travel and make sure you all have a legitimate reason to be there. The boon is that you don't even need to disguise yourselves. The documents just list you as sort of like crew that can just has to like make an immediate delivery and can get expressly passed through the dock process.
Sweet.
That's
Nice. Finally got to use that ability. Nice.
Woo!
No, this is the job for using everything you got.
Of course.
All right, so you've gotten a passage there, and you can probably use that ship to make your way back to the mainland as well when you're done. So, what's your plan once you're on the island?
To probably blab as much as we can about the fact that Gideon is here and how important he is and how big a deal his existence is to like everybody.
Oh, jeez.
Just big up Gideon to the point where the Scorpion's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go murder you. And then
It's
Yeah.
gonna be like the Gaston song on steroids.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
And
We're
Gideon
just gonna
is going to
big
hate
up
every
Gideon.
minute of it.
Disney style with a Gaston song.
Yes. Gideon will hate every second of it.
I'd feel bad, but I don't.
I know.
Aster's gonna
Is
look
it-
for animals.
Yeah, this is his plot. And like, why animals?
Why not?
Have you met
never
Aster
mind,
for the
never mind,
last
never mind, never
5
mind.
minutes?
Stupid question. Stupid question. Sorry. I stopped. Just
That back reel was great. So yeah, are there actually any animals around? Because I actually had a legitimate idea.
What kind of animal were you thinking of using?
Well, not to use, just I know if any are around.
It's a pretty packed and rundown section of the city. There's a variety of urbane animals to choose from.
So minus the cat I already have on me, are there any other stray cats that I can see?
Somewhere on the island at all? Sure. I'm sure there is at least 1 cat.
Because I'm going to tell you guys right now, the idea was to possess my own cat, find the cats, and then get all the juicy cat rumors about bad murders.
All the juicy cat gossip.
you know what? Yes, please do that. That is glorious.
It was an actual good plan that just involved me using the word cat way too much.
Yes.
You want to...
I want to possess the cat that I have because of my pet quirk, and then find the other cats that are on the island and ask them about the murders of the humans around and see if I can narrow down who Scorpion is and or where they are.
Huh. All right. Is everyone else okay with that?
I'm fine with
Go.
that. That is
You'll get
glorious.
that cat gossip. Well,
As
we'll
long as
stick
I'm
him
not
up.
getting blamed for it, I am fully okay with this.
We'll big him up. No
I
one's
haven't
gonna
figured
get
out
the
how to
cat
blame you
gossip.
for this yet.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We'll figure it out eventually.
Go for it.
Okay.
Huh. So I guess okay. So, between talking to Paul and traveling to Long Harbor Island. I'm going to say that's our day segment. So what's starting here is now our first night segment. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Sure. We can
Sounds
deal
like
with that.
solid idea.
All right. So to kind of cover what the other characters are doing first, what skill do you think would be appropriate for trying to spread, rumors about Gideon?
I have
Gossip with
got-
criminals.
Gossip.
Gossip
Yep.
with
There we
criminals.
go. There we go.
I've got gossip with merchants.
And you got gossip with merchants.
I have gossip with criminals.
So between the gossip with criminals and the gossip with merchants, that should take care of at least 90% of all the people on this
Oh,
island.
yeah.
So
I mean, I've got to convince someone as well.
I'm going to say gossip is probably the better role here. Do you guys get any advantages to that?
If I'm talking with merchants, I get 2 advantage dice.
If I'm talking with criminals, I get 2 advantage dice.
So this works. This works.
I get nothing.
Social characters, yeah.
Social.
On top of that, you can also use the experience you've all accumulated up to this point. Xencarn, you can use experience to give yourself another advantage die when trying
sure.
to talk with other criminals.
Okay.
So yeah, make those rolls for me. Let's see.
You both
Sorry.
have the same thing.
With 2 challenge die each because Gideon is a wanted criminal.
Gideon is a criminal.
Do you want to do it or should I? Because we both have the same stat for the same thing.
80%?
Oh, well, I have 65. You
Then
do it
I'll be rolling it. Let's see. It's 2d8 E5 and 2d10 E5. That is correct. And I guess I can push my luck there by 10 to bring it down so it's at 72.
Roll me an extra challenge die then.
Yeah. Hooray. Joy.
So Xencarn succeeds with no boons or drawbacks, and Mykin succeeds with a drawback.
Yep. If it works out too well and the scorpion immediately comes after me before we're prepared, then
Don't worry, I've got a plan for that.
Just wing it.
I'm glad that you have a plan for that. I'm just afraid that plan is going to end up with the road being paved in blood.
Well, I mean,
that's
your
gonna happen
section of the
anyway.
world, but the rest of the world should be fine.
You already okayed for us to kill this person. You can't say that anymore. You're along for the ride.
I walked in here assuming that we were going to at least capture her alive because that would have been the better one of the 2.
One way or another, blood is going to be spilled.
Well, I was just gonna knock her on the back of the head and hope that worked, but I mean, I can go with the murder option.
No.
Okay.
Anyway.
Drawback is that one of the local landlords, or perhaps better description would be slumlords, notices that you're raising kind of a high profile and kind of clumsily attempts to blackmail you. As
Yeah,
in,
that's
like,
not going to fly.
pay me extra for staying in my district in exchange for me not blabbing more to, like, the crown and the church about you.
I'm half tempted to turn around and ask him if he really wants to evoke the wrath of the family and if he really wants to blackmail me when I'm on their errand.
Roll
And
me
on-
intimidate someone.
What's-
Oh, you walked into that.
I've got an 80 in Intimidate. I'll do it.
Let's see. Intimidate someone is an 80 for me. Any bonuses?
No, just straight
Be a
up.
merchant? Just straight up? All right.
Oh, is he is a merchant of sorts.
So I get advantage.
A merchant of
Yeah.
really run down tenements.
Uh,
But he thinks of himself as a businessman, if that makes any sense.
Oh, that is a wonderful role. That is a
He's
bad
Yes.
role.
Legitimate businessman.
Yes.
I don't think I
Well,
have to
I'm a
roll.
legitimate
I think you've
businessman
got
as
it.
well.
He really does not want to piss off the family now that he's taken 2 seconds and brain cells to think about it.
Now that it's fully sunk in.
And with a boon there, he offers you a discount on your room for the evening, and as well as your companions, of course, being generous.
Of course.
I give him a cigar to show no hard feelings.
Of course.
Like the Don that you are.
Exactly. That is fitting with Gideon's character. He would probably give a gift just to make sure that, it's good that you understand the gravity of the situation. So let's just put this behind us.
Just a fine.
But the
cute
alleyways
cigar.
are so comfy.
Shush.
All right, so with that sort of going on, somewhat simultaneously, we have what was the character? Aster.
Aster.
Aster's getting that cat gossip.
Roll me use sorcery with 4 challenge dice.
Okay.
This is great.
It is going to be beautiful. It always is.
Yeah.
Anything? Nope.
Oh. Wow.
Hey!
A very low roll, success, but with 3 drawbacks. 3 drawbacks. Okay.
This gonna be good.
Distractions all over. Ooh, there's a rat. Rats are yummy. Oh, what was I doing again? Oh, I don't remember how to get back to them. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Oh, look, a piece of string.
I'm gonna guess that right there is your suggestion for the cost or unintended consequence of the sorcery you just
At
used.
least 2 of them. Distraction and then forgetting how to get back for a little bit.
All right.
I think there might have been a 3rd one.
Hmm.
Or it could just be, what was I doing again?
Can I offer like a 3rd one, a possible 3rd one?
What is your 3rd idea?
You catch the attention of some kid that wants to catch you, or an animal catcher or whatever.
Animal catcher would be pretty bad, man. And you're carrying around my corpse.
Or just a big dog.
Or just a big dog.
Yeah, just a big some
I'm
guy's
just
dog
offering a
finds you.
suggestion here. We don't have to go with
How
it.
about a kid finds me?
Yeah, okay. So as soon as you possess the animal, you almost immediately lose yourself to these alley cats are kind of desperate. There's not a lot of food to go around, so immediately they're like, "Oh, I've got all this newfound strength. I'm feeling full of energy. I'm just gonna run around and hunt some rats or something. Yeah, it's just go jumping around everywhere." And then you finally manage to take complete control. It's like, okay, where am I? And at that moment, this kid's like, "Oh, kitty," and picks you up, and you are indisposed for. He does not seem terribly. Kid's already got some cuts and bruises on him. He does not seem particularly bothered by your aggression.
Not even if he gets swiped.
Well, maybe a little bit. He's like, oh. And he just looks
holds you at arm's length.
Yeah, kind of holding you at arm's length for. So you're kind of indisposed for a while until you can break free.
Jeez. I'm sorry.
It could have gone a lot worse.
It could have.
You could have got 4.
This is why I like Aster. It's really easy.
Yeah.
So, time passes before you're able to act on your plan of sort of communing with the other cats in the area. Cats not being known for their communication skills, how do you go about acquiring this information?
Bribe the cats.
Bribe the cats with the rat. It's like, hey, I got this rat. You want it?
Bribe the cats with food.
Because you just said that.
Cats,
I got this for you, but I need you to do me something, and then I'll give it to you. It's really nice. So humans get killed a lot. Really fancy-pantsy humans. Do you know where that person does it, or where they live? Do they feed well?
Knock over a fish stool, that'll do it.
cats don't talk in this universe.
I'm speaking as cat.
Cats don't have that complex a language.
I'm trying.
You're just meowing at this horde of cats.
Roll me handle an animal with 3 challenge dice.
You are literally trying to herd cats.
Well, I have an 80 in it, so it's fine.
It's the challenge dice that worries us.
It always is. As long as I succeed, it doesn't matter.
True.
Which I do.
All right. Success with 2 challenge dice.
Get in a fight with one of the cats.
Some of the cats just, like, take the pile of rats you've accumulated and just run off without, like...
Yeah, that's fair.
But, kind of this older, gray, kind of tabby-like cat, is kind of curious enough to sort of, like, listen to your meows and weird gestures, and, you know, you're trying to follow along with your game of charades as you try to murder, like, hit, you know, dead, stab, question mark? I don't know. Somehow you manage to convey to this idea to the cats that would stick around long enough to sort of watch you. And it takes even more of the night to finally, you know, find a cat that would understand. And, they start walking through the streets and you follow them for a while, not really sure if, like, they understood you properly or not. Then the cat, stops at the corner of one intersection and just kind of points its paw up at the nearby rooftops. And through your, you know, cat night eyes, you see a figure on the rooftops. This part of town doesn't seem to have, like, a lot of working street lights, so it'd be almost impossible to tell without, you know, your kind of particular night vision right now.
Can I follow person?
Yep, they nimbly... You blink and suddenly they're on the other rooftop, and you do your best to follow them. Roll me tail someone with a couple challenge dice.
Couple is not a number, Spud.
2.
2.
It's 2.
Hey!
62 and 0.
I have an 80 in tail someone.
All right. It is late in the evening, and you follow this sort of mystery roof traveler to a sort of apartment building, a kind of rundown apartment building. And, you know, parked outside, you see the horses and cart that your companions had used to get here.
Oh.
And you see her kind of perched on a neighboring rooftop, looking, you know, scouting out the windows.
Do I see her, like, she's looking through the windows?
She's kind of looking at the windows from across the street, sort of moving around the rooftops of the adjacent buildings.
But the intent is the building.
Yeah, she's definitely looking at the building.
And I'm on the street, so I can't clearly tell who's in the nearest window.
No.
Or if it's us.
You recognize the cart that your group had used to get here, because you split your separate ways after reaching land again. And Gideon's family cargo and goods and whatnot and your equipment were kind of branded a certain way to increase your profile.
Because I know one of you guys has my body.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the first thought in my mind is to drop feral possession and just come up and it's like, guys, she's here. Or if I want to stay and just watch.
Chances are they, after agreeing on this beforehand, they probably would have brought your body inside with them.
Yeah, so,
yeah, it would be somewhere comfortable and safe.
But I know that I'm at least near one of you at this point of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this is like 1 or 2 a.m.
But if I dropped it and woke up and started moving, I'd be able to find at least one of them to say, "Hey guys, she's here."
Yeah,
you'd probably be in with Clara, I would assume.
But then another part is like, maybe I should stay just to keep watching. But then that's the Katya part of me.
Well, I would prefer not to get murdered tonight.
Katya, drag out the Eternal Scout.
Kat spends 4 hours watching a wall.
5 hours, excuse you. Okay.
In a bush.
Since the cat I'm possessing is actually Aster's, once she drops, it's probably going to run inside to back to her. So I'm going to drop it, wake up, and I guess if Clara's in the room...
Okay, so you end your possession.
Yeah.
All right, so your body is released from its catatonic state, and you wake up in a bedroom. You're still wearing all of your gear. They just kind of laid you down and pulled the covers over you. And in a neighboring bed, sure, let's say Clara Hugh, one of the Hugh twins.
Wakes up Clara. Clara.
Pitched lower. What?
Scorpion lady here.
So Clara will swear pretty loudly. And I'm assuming there's 2 rooms, so she'll just go to the other one. Knock on, just pound on the door, being like, "Guys, wake up!"
Quiet! Don't want to scare her. We need to find.
No, I'll get the door. Just kind of
Aster is still kind of in cat mode.
Just open the door, rub my eyes.
Good, wakey.
Just stare down at the small
Pause at the
child
door.
and the cat. Or
Crazy cat lady says Scorpio.
fine, I'll get the others. And he just turns around and just, without even in just one fluid moment, he walks over to Gideon's bed, pulls the pillow out from his head, and just slaps him with it.
Thankfully, Gideon is drunk enough to not feel that, so he just gets up. It's like, what the?
And
No,
he just turns
Bashir,
around
Darren.
and then turns around and throws it at the other twin.
At that point,
Oh,
Gideon
come on, man! What the hell?
So I'm about to get
Stop.
murdered, aren't I?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll get my cane.
cool.
Where's my cane?
He just straightens his tie, lights another cigar, slicks his hair back. All right, I'm good.
Hey sis, what's the crossbow? Under the bed. No, the good crossbow, still under the bed.
Under the other bed.
I
Now-
collect.
Now,
Aster collects her cat. Good boy.
Now we are trying to keep her alive, mind you.
Yeah, she doesn't need legs for that.
What the heck did I get myself into?
Rat trap.
What the kitty said.
Anyway, so where is she?
Outside.
But where?
Outside.
Out this window
Yeah,
right
that's
here?
as good as you can ignore.
The sad thing is Gideon wants to look out the window, but he knows he's not
No,
stealthy enough.
Don't look.
He
She'll
just-
shoot you. Probably. Maybe.
No, she kills with poison. And I just had a lot of...
Then go back to sleep.
Because, poison
everyone
arrows
else
aren't a
leaves.
thing, right?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just used
Go
to
back to
dealing with
sleep.
different kinds of problems than this. And gosh dang it, I'm about to get murdered.
Oh,
Everyone else
stop
leave
being
room.
a baby about it. People die all the time. You're not special.
I
Take
know
your
I'm not
poison like
special.
a
That's the
man.
problem.
Amid your bickering, the rest of the floor doesn't have any tenants in it. You've been given kind of the quote-unquote penthouse suite, which is just the top
Awesome.
the top floor of a building where no one else is on the top floor. Through some of the not especially thick walls, you hear the sound akin to, very briefly, air being sucked out of the room. Just like...
Yeah, we're leaving.
Like shoving everyone out, even though she's probably the tiniest thing ever.
Yeah. You're trying to push 2 grown adult men and a couple of children out of a room.
It came from the side of the building where the stairs are.
Yeah, we're not getting out of here.
Just
Let's just go. Come on, let's just face this like dignified business people, at least. All right.
What part of poison dignified?
I'm trying to not freak out here, please.
Then don't.
Just stand in the middle of the group, keep your head down, and don't draw attention to yourself, and you'll probably survive.
All right.
Put
Then what if
napkin
you
over your
guys go?
face.
Okay, go. All right,
Fine,
shut up.
fine.
Let's go,
Come on.
please.
Bye.
We're going.
Actually, no,
All right.
I'm going to stay.
So how are you leaving the bedrooms?
All right. Smarty, do you
because-
want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go in between, yeah. So it's like one twin, me, the other twin.
All right, cool. So Darren will go first. No, sorry, Clara will go first with the crossbow. Then
Antonio.
Antonio. Then Clara. Then
I'm staying in the room.
Gideon, and then just Gideon, I guess, because cat lady's staying in the room.
Why would Gideon? Oh yeah, never mind. No, I'll be behind Gideon.
Thank you.
You know she's not going to help if she.
I know she's not, but hey, it's a thought that counts, all
I
right?
have a crossbow. I am fine.
Yeah, but aren't you short? Can't they just shoot over you?
But I can shoot you, and they can't see me.
Can I have somebody else standing behind me?
Nope.
No.
Too late.
Alright.
Let's go.
All right, fine. All right, we leave the room, Spud.
All right.
What horrors await us?
There is basically leave the apartment, and there is a kind of a long, broad hallway leading over to where the stairs are. And I assume you're just kind of slowly and carefully making your way down that hall.
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Mhm.
Oh, something that's probably to note. People can't hide, surprise, or sneak around me without them noticing because I'm a warden of the night.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just realized that's
You are
pretty
the
important.
anti-stealth.
Yes.
Everything
They're
makes
very-
noise except for me. Right. So, you notice first that behind one of the doors to the other apartments, you sense the shifting of weight on rotten floorboards and the sound of someone taking a breath before holding it.
Head immediately turns
Mhm.
You're at the back, so you're going to have to either verbally
And,
tell
like,
us or tap
and
someone.
grabs the back of Gideon's coat or whatever you're
Jacket.
wearing.
Suit jacket.
Stop.
Okay. I'm stopping.
There.
I'm assuming you're pointing.
Just staring. Not even pointing. Just
Just-
staring at the door.
As soon as you say there, you hear just kind of a and the door bursts open, and there is a robed figure who is immediately drawing knives that are coated in something acid green.
Okay, Gideon's not waiting around. He is going to duck for cover.
So combat begins,
Yeah.
and I forget who goes first, so let me just check real quick. Because I know it's
So
like
it's not a crossbow, it's just a normal bow. Never mind.
Yeah,
It's still a weapon.
it's still a ranged weapon, but
I
which
have
we're
a
going to...
knife.
It's
I love
still
how
plus.
two of us are going to use ranged weapons in a short, like in a corridor.
I have a knife.
I have a walking cane.
I'm gonna get into a knife fight with the scorpion.
I have teeth.
At least you have a knife. I'm trying to use a freaking walking cane against this guy. Very
I mean-
expensive looking one.
I
too.
mean, I have a non-violent plan,
well,
but
yes.
I don't think we're going to get the time for it.
Shoot them in the kneecap.
all right. So
Well,
because Aster spotted Scorpion first, I'm gonna say she moves, then she gets a turn, then I get my turn, then we go to the player turns.
Okay.
So
Makes
Avis,
sense.
you take your action.
I want to shoot her kneecap with my bow.
All right.
Or her leg with
roll
my
to
bow.
roll to shoot someone.
I have a 80, so pass.
Okay. Oh, you actually rolled pretty high on that. All right.
Oh wow. So
You
that's
don't manage to get her kneecap, but you do manage to get her in the leg, and she sort of stumbles back. And then quickly, one after the other, tosses a pair of throwing knives at two targets. And I'm going to... Yeah, let's just go. All right. That's a success. And it's going to be against Gideon and Aster. You each catch a poisoned throwing knife across your skin, and it immediately starts to burn and dizzy you. Just really fast-acting
Owie.
poison. So this is kind of a whole mechanic I made up. Anytime you're hit by the scorpion, you add one challenge die to any attack roll you make against the scorpion. But at any time, you can immediately spend 10 luck to remove one of those challenge die.
Okay.
Does it
That's
go away?
cool. Okay.
Does it go away by that?
If you spend 10 luck, that challenge die goes away.
And does the next turn do you start again? Or do you have to get hit again?
If you get hit again, you get another challenge die.
Okay.
The challenge die in this case stack?
Yes.
Does it have a stack limit?
4.
Sweet.
Does it... So I would start with 1. Does next turn do I get 2?
If you're hit again, you would get a second. If you're hit a second time, you would get a second challenge die.
Okay, but if I don't, it's still just the 1.
It's still just the 1.
Okay.
So how much damage is that?
Oh, right. Also 30 damage.
Son of a...
30 damage and poison 1.
And damage just comes out of your luck, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes. And that...
Oh, the damage would have been
hurt.
30 as well, because for the bow.
Oh, was it plus 30 for...
Yeah.
Oh, right. So, yikes. Okay. That was 100 luck damage to our poisoner. All right. To the scorpion, I mean. Okay. So that's those 2 turns. Let's go in reverse order. Xencarn, you're up. What do the twins
Okay.
do?
So Darren...
You still only get 1 action for the both of them.
Yep. So Clara will flatten against the wall, and Darren will sort of try and shoot the same leg Aster did.
Do the other leg.
Oh, the other leg, fine. Whichever leg, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't really matter. Just
Shoot the leg.
D100, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nah. Oh, can you push your luck in combat?
If you have a benefit that lets you. So basically, if you're the circle or
not.
Red Lotus.
If you're circle, you can do anything.
Yeah, no, I don't. So my shoot someone's 65, so I missed that.
Okay. So you miss with your attack. Smarty.
I am go out with a knife.
What
That's
is
all I have.
what is your specialty you're playing again?
Cleaner.
Right.
I have a knife.
You sure do.
Broom them to death.
I mean, I can hit them with my large bag of cleaning supplies
That would probably work.
or my book full of contacts, but I think my knife would be better.
Probably, unless you wanted to do bludgeoning damage and like knock her out.
Yeah, we do want to knock her
But
out.
no.
And that's a no.
That's a miss. All right. Mykin.
Well, Gideon just got hit, and he is not happy about that, and he is going to go ahead and, if he can, go up there and immediately try to strike her over the head with his walking cane. So that is going to be
Brawl with someone.
65. Jeez.
With a
Oh,
challenge die.
y'all with none of these actual attacking stats.
He has attack stats.
I do in both my characters.
Well, I hit with a 31 plus 10 because of my walking cane, so 41 damage.
Okay. Solid hit-ish.
40 damage.
And
yeah.
you didn't get a drawback from the die. Okay. So then Avis, you're up.
I want to try shooting one of those arms to make her drop the knife, because those are nasty.
You kind of see past the cloak she's wearing that she's got basically like a bandolier full.
She has a lot of knives.
Okay, then we'll do the other leg. Just because, hey, if we get her legs, then she can't go anywhere.
Roll to shoot someone with 1 challenge die. All
Hey,
right.
14's not bad.
So the drawback reduces your damage by 10.
So that's still, and the bow is still plus 30, so that becomes plus 20,
Yep, so
basically.
34,
So
34 damage.
Yeah.
So, okay. You don't hit quite as hard this time or quite as directly, but you still manage to, get kind of tear off a chunk of flesh, basically. Then she reaches to her waist, draws out a short sword that is also coated in poison, and rushes Gideon.
For the love of...
You're the one she wants dead.
I know. I'm just
That
having
is a
fun.
success. 50 damage and another count of poison.
Ow!
You might want to get rid of that poison, man.
I have 10 luck left.
You'll be fine.
I can't get rid of the poison damage.
Oh, rip. Rest in pieces.
Yeah. No, I don't plan on dying today, but it's not my turn either.
All right, so the Hugh twins' turn.
Oh man, I'm wondering if it's just okay. Can I try and do something stupid? Are you guys gonna get mad at me?
Depends on what's stupid.
I'm gonna try and convince her to surrender because we've already shot her twice, and
That's
there's
not
like
stupid.
5 of us in a hallway versus her.
I was actually going to ask if it looks like she's like doing okay.
I mean, I can intimidate.
I mean, we did roughly around 150 damage to her, so
Like, because I am gonna be way better at talking her down than I am gonna be at shooting her.
No, that's
Go
not
ahead.
a bad thing, but that's a question. Does she look pretty bad or
She's wrapped up in like a face mask and a cloak.
Is she limping?
well, you shot her
She
in the
has an
leg.
arrow in her leg.
She
Yeah.
did just
two arrows in her leg?
She did just charge. She just charged Gideon though, so you know.
Mostly adrenaline at this point, I would imagine. Like
Okay.
it's been like seconds. And these things are happening seconds apart. So
Right. In that case, I'm going to step forward and I'm going to be like, "Look, Scorpion, there's more of us than there are of you. You're not getting out of this. Drop your weapons, sit down, and you might come out of this alive."
Bow is still drawn.
roll me.
Nice.
I'm gonna imagine in this scene that like the hit against Gideon kind of sent him stumbling back, and you all sort of rallied around him with bows trained on her.
Nice.
Aster would go like in front of him in that case, like literally swapping spots.
You've got your bow, the twins have got their crossbows. I've got a knife.
Yeah.
You can't hide from me. Just give up.
So what's the roll again?
Yeah, roll to convince someone.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the inevitable. This is how many challenge die.
Do I want to be really mean? Yes, I do. 4
Yes.
challenge die.
Sweet. Because
I know.
Dice.
She counts as
4
a
challenge dice.
she counts as a criminal, right?
She is a super criminal.
Sweet, because I get 2 advantage to convincing her about this.
I think
And
she's
there's no advantage to us surrounding with weapons drawn at all.
And the 2 arrows in her leg.
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. So what am I trying to hit? 80%.
Come on.
Am I allowed to push my luck with that?
No, because you've already got 4 challenge dice.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's challenge. I forgot about that.
well,
You've got 4 challenges.
you've got
anyway.
you got 2 advantages, so they
You
kind of
got
cancel out, maybe.
Basically,
It's still
the
above the
worst
80.
roll.
Yeah, you did fail horribly, but hey, it's not a complete crit fail.
Hey, at least I'm not on the ground bleeding out. I mean,
Hey, I'm not on the ground bleeding out just yet, sir.
so Spud.
Could
All
I
right.
maybe like
What happens
maybe
is,
intimidate or something?
at first, she sort of pauses
Weighing her options.
and raises a hand up to the mask over her face, one other hand reaching behind her back. She pulls the mask down and makes this like open mouth, like hissing sound at you. And when she does that in the low candlelight of the hall, you see that her tongue's been cut.
Ugh.
And from behind her back, she tosses a vial of something green at you. It splashes and kind of explodes outwards from the floor. And you all get a die of poison.
Fun.
Oh,
Fair enough.
3 challenge dice. And I can't do anything about it.
So that was Xencarn's turn.
Someone else's problem now. I
Smarty.
tried.
yeah, I want to try and like the same thing, but with intimidate. Because my convince someone is the same thing, but I feel like intimidate would be good. Mostly, you know,
How
because
are
we have
you
a-
intimidating someone who just threw poison at us?
Easily.
Yeah, it's not actually as hard as you think.
because we're surrounding her with weapons.
Not really surrounding, just sort of like
Well,
filling a hall.
Cornering.
No,
Cornering.
she's still got places to go.
threatening.
Yes, there we go.
Yes, that one. Just trying-
So you want to roll to intimidate someone? I'm going to say another 4
Yes.
challenge dice if you do that.
Alright.
Go, Smarty. Roll all the fours.
This is going to suck. The suspense is killing
The
me.
one with the... Hey!
Well, that's a success at least.
A success with 2 drawbacks. So your goal here was to intimidate her with, you've been caught. Numbers, okay.
Just, I don't know how big she is, but I just kind of want to, like, maybe tower over her. Just like...
She seems pretty imposing.
Yeah, I don't know. Because he's like 6'4", about that. And he's the whole time still got the lit cigar in his mouth with the knife. Just kind of just intimidate her with numbers. We have 4, you have 1, we've already hit you a few times. Just make it easy on yourself.
All right, you succeed, and the drawback is that she starts running the other way.
Yeah, I figured that was going to happen.
Someone stop her, please.
It's not my turn, unless you want me to shoot, because I
Mykin.
will.
All right. What's the likelihood of me being able to tackle her?
Throw your stick at her.
Throw your stick at her.
Throw my stick at her. With 3 challenge dice, yes, I'll throw my stick and end up hitting you.
Does getting rid of one of the poison take up your action?
I have 10 luck.
No,
To
that was a question to Spud.
Sorry, what?
Does it? If you use the minus 10 luck to get rid of one of the challenge die from the poison, does that get rid of your entire move?
No, it's instantaneous.
Okay, thank you.
You can. She hasn't gotten far enough away. You can use your move to get close enough to take a melee action. You can chase after her. She has been hit in the legs a couple times. She can't run that fast.
Okay. So just to make sure I have my options here, is there any chance I can... No. At that point, by the time I get my minions up here to grab her for me, then she's probably going to go away. All right, I'll bite the bullet. So I'll run up, and I am going to attempt to tackle her to the ground. And that is going to be a D100 with 3 challenge dice because I have that much poison on me.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
I succeed with all 3 challenges. Jeez Louise.
It just loves you.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All right. You managed to challenge. Okay. Okay. You deal 12 damage. That's how that turns out.
Did you tackle her?
But I do tackle her to the ground, right?
Tackle her to
You
the
manage
ground
you
and down
manage
the
to
stairs.
prevent her from escaping entirely. Yes. You keep her within range of the others.
Okay.
You kind
Someone
of.
knock
I'm
her
not.
out.
You're kind between the poison, kind of hobbling your movements. You're kind of too weak to like really do a full strength football tackle, but you kind of like,
Grab her leg.
you kind of like bar her leg with your cane and kind of make her stumble a bit. And in the seconds to follow, that gives everyone else an opening.
Yeah. Freaking stop her!
Thunder.
Okay.
Avis.
Minusing 10 luck to suck some of that poison out.
Okay.
And then really to shoot her again.
Shoot her in the back.
Basically.
Please
Final
don't kill
call.
her.
Shoot
Please
her in the
don't kill
back.
her.
26 plus 30, 56.
All right, and with no drawbacks. So, that does it. Where were you aiming?
Leg. Please say leg.
In the back.
Yeah, probably.
To what? Which answer?
The leg.
Okay.
Or like a
Back to the
tie.
leg.
This you managed to fire an arrow through her leg entirely, and she falls to the ground.
Oh.
Ow. I said don't run. You can't hide from me.
The fact that you're saying it in that voice.
Just makes everything better.
I know. I know.
She lies on the ground, groaning in pain.
Walks up closer. Bow still drawn at the neck.
But, hold on. She's down for the count. Let's not kill her.
Not killing, pinning.
Oh, using your neck against her. You're using your bow against
Yeah,
her neck.
like just holding it there.
All right, okay.
Okay.
Holding her down with the bow.
It's all this freaking poison that's running through my system.
Yeah, you should get up. You should get up. Clara, you lay on her.
Knock it off.
Clara,
Oh,
lay
oh.
on her.
Okay.
Get both the twins to sit on her.
Yeah, they'll do
All
that. They have no qualms about that.
I'm going to say you managed to tie her up, render her helpless, etc., etc.
Gag her, stuff her in a bag.
Maybe not the bag.
Among, you kind of disarm her. I imagine go through her
Yes,
effects.
we take all the knives.
You see lots of vials of poison, lots of knives, the short sword. You also find a weird religious talisman,
I will keep that. Thank you very much.
which
Ooh, what is
has
it? Shiny.
which has like what looks like blood encased in resin.
Oh,
What is it?
Um,
It's shiny. It
do-
smells like
do-
iron or copper.
yeah,
Whatever
it looks like something sorcerer's. Do you know what this is?
Do I know what it is?
You know things about sorcery.
Yes, I
so, you know that this is a magical talisman. You've heard about this as being something that church specters use to give them their powers.
She Spectre. She Church.
You can see Gideon's face just go paler than what the poison's already making him look like. At that, he's just
yeah.
like, oh,
Someone's been a bad
Lovely.
kitty.
lovely. Well, this might change things.
This make things really good.
I don't see what this changes.
It doesn't change.
Not
It doesn't
really.
change it for us, but
It changes it for her.
yeah. Either way, I guess we will tie our little package up in a bow and deliver her over to Mr. Donnelly. I'm sure he will be thrilled to know that our mass murdering criminal here is part of the church.
Or at least was part of the church at some point.
Was.
Mm.
Yes, this is true.
Oh, the cons of playing someone that is not really all that smart. Oh, so many things I can actually say. And I
What?
can't actually say it.
Uh,
More of just the implications of this possibly bringing up, but Aster doesn't care.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
this-
curious as to what the
Because if she's a specter or even was one at one point, this means that she was either dropped off and someone tried to hide her away, or she's part of the church and is doing this stuff on the church's orders.
more specifically, the Grey Bishops thing, and I did think about that. Yeah.
And it's like all
Oh.
this stuff that I could say or Katya could say, but Aster can't because she doesn't give a shit. This is my suffering. I love this
Yes.
character, but I hate her.
I love how much you guys are overthinking this. It's entirely possible. She used to be with the church, got caught for heresy, went crazy, and is living on an island as a murder hobo now.
Yeah, there's that too. I'm just wrapping this amulet up in a separate package. We're not leaving it on this person.
Like I said, there's a lot of implications to what
Mhm.
finding this means.
Yes.
But none of us like the
I
people.
can't tell you. I can just tell you
Oh.
that, ooh, she's a specter or
No,
she's part of the church, and you guys have to say all that.
Yeah, but none of the rest of us care.
Gideon
No.
cares.
what Gideon cares, but Gideon doesn't know what to do with it. That's the problem. And at
He's
the
the
moment,
only one that cares.
well, of course, he nearly got killed. So
This is true.
anything,
Oh my
anything.
Yeah, but
God.
you can waste the brain cells thinking about this.
I mean, I'll probably write it down as a fixer. It's useful information, but apart from that, nah.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep this in the back of my mind for later,
And the back of
because
your
for
body.
now,
Meanwhile, it's going right out of Aster's like a little bird.
It went in one ear and out the other.
okay.
Yep.
Anyway, so I'm assuming we've already got like a drop off all prepared and stuff like that for when we did capture this scorpion.
Yeah,
person.
you go
So-
to the pre-assigned place, you set off the pre-assigned signal, you get the heck out of there, and even before you even clear the area, you notice just church agents coming out of the shadows to collect her. And by the time you're out of the district, she's already gone.
Okay. And with
I'm
that,
hungry.
Gideon
You're
is just
always
going to
hungry.
I
Yeah.
know.
I'm going to go lie down for a bit. Maybe the poison will wear off after a few dozen hours of sleep.
Yeah, you
Or
should
you
sleep.
can go see a
Bye.
doctor.
Yeah, you should probably go see a doctor.
I
Probably
don't
go underground and go see the grave diggers.
Wow, that was darker than I was expecting you to go.
Yeah.
No, I mean
Actually
the
looking at
cartel.
my own wound.
The cartel.
Yeah, I know. It's just
We know.
the implications. It's just like
Go
if,
What's your
underground
name?
and see them.
if we can't fix you, Gideon, don't worry. We have a nice
Coffin.
crypt for you.
Don't worry. We've got a
Anyway.
cartel for
Go
that.
go see the guy in the Plague Dr. Bird mask.
We'll either cure you of poison or it won't matter anymore.
You can go see the doctor. Aster is just going to look at her wound, check out the poison like you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, Gideon will be taken care of one way or the other. He will be taken.
This basically explains why you guys are out of commission for the next couple days or so.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Remember, the cure to poison is always more poison.
It
Of course,
actually
shut up,
is.
you.
So
Alright.
Just gonna, as
this
we're sailing back, just gonna stand on the bow of the ship, smoking my cigar and staring off into the distance.
So later on through the week, you hear back from Paul Donnelly basically saying, I kind of suspected she was an excommunicated specter.
Oh, good.
At any rate, this is very good because it cleans up a mess that the church had and the cartels had. So this is,
Win-win for both sides.
yeah. And he's taking credit for arranging this capture, so.
Which technically isn't a lie since he was the one that gave us the idea.
Mm-hmm.
So that's some very good points in his favor for doing Grey Bishop work should the time come.
Woo.
Yay.
And with that, I think
Yay.
we'll call it. I know this was pretty short, but we've got a lot to get through, and
Get through.
you've spent 1 out of your 6 days.
Hey.
Told you we would do it in a day.
We can spend more, I mean.
Let's waste all the days.
Calm down now.
Spend,
Let's keep
all,
talking about how we're getting rid of this poison for 4 more
Just-
days.
spend 4 days going over what we do. Now that we're
All right. So I think that will do it for this sub-session of Dusk City Outlaws, Tales of New Dunhaven. And next time, if I can... Let's see, where is the planning doc?
and next time is Team 2.
Team go on the hunt for the Grey Bishop and identity in the cities.
Team Grey Bishop.
With Azure
Yep,
Mountain,
Team Grey Bishop.
Sani, Creeper Zone, Hawkflight, who's now
Last Shredder Ride.
the last Shred Eye, and Oblivious. So that'll be the next section of the heist. Thanks for listening. See you
Take
all
care.
next time.
Guys.
Catch you
Bye! Feed your cats.
later.
Jeez.
Tales of New Dunhaven. Feed your cats.
I'm not sorry.
Nor should
No.
you be.
Why
No,
would you be?
That was great.
Perfect ending.